Hey guys, it's Marta. Welcome to my garden. Today I wanted to take you for a quick stroll through my patio. I wanted to show you plants in pots, roses, climbing and English roses, and all of the compositions with vegetables and flowers that I made in this part of the garden. So this is the entry to our patio. This is what I call it. I try to give names for every part of the garden because sometimes when I tell Michael to, maybe he will go for something and I'll say this is in the patio, you have to have names. So the terrace is quite big. So this part that has a paving, we call it a patio. And the entry to the patio is this rose greets you. This is an English rose, so Winchester Cathedral, David Austin rose, a beautiful one. I think now it's maybe 5-6 years old, and it's beautiful. It's white but with a blush of pink, and it looks beautiful. Sometimes the blush is very gentle, sometimes you will not even notice it, but sometimes some flowers can be almost half in those tiny patches of blush, and I've even had one flower that was part pink, part white. So it's very interesting. In terms of scent, the scent for me is not very super rosy. It has a scent a bit citrusy. I have a lot of roses that have more beautiful scent, so scent is not the most interesting part of this rose, but I really like the flowers. The border around the patio is in semi-shade, so we have some plants here that love this kind of conditions. So we have a geranium roseanne. This is the first flower I just found. Usually it starts blooming at the end of June, so most of the geraniums will bloom for us earlier, so even the end of May, beginning of June. But roseanne has this beautiful ability to bloom throughout the season. So when she starts blooming, normally at the end of June, this time it's earlier, it will bloom until the frosts come in. Even sometimes I've seen her blooming in November, so it is a beautiful perennial that I really love. Other plants that are here, we have a catmint. This is Six Hills Giant, and because this is semi-shade, it will bloom definitely later than other catmints that are already blooming. And then we have Brunnera. I think this is Silverheart. I am not sure, but I really love those beautiful leaves. It's just one plant and it's just 5 years old. So it is a beautiful big clump of leaves that is surrounding the boxwood. And then we have some other plants. I've planted coleus, and I'm really interested to see how they will grow for us in this type of border. We have another climbing rose here. This is Jasmina. She's still in bud, so we have to wait a moment for the beautiful pink flowers. Jasmina is, I think, a German rose, so her scent is very intense, but it's not rose-like. The scent is more like, I would say, fresh laundry, but it's still beautiful. But I definitely prefer the David Austin scent of roses, so like the old roses that my grandma had in her garden. This is why I love Jasmina. And somewhere intermingled through her stems is Clematis Blue Angel. It will bloom in a second, but I am having problems with some bugs eating the flowers, and I've been fighting them for 3 years now, and I'm still losing. So in the greenhouse this year I will be having some peppers. I've had them in previous years in the pots, and I really loved the results with them. And also the small varieties of tomatoes, the tiny ones. Last year I tried the bigger ones, and this growing in pots was not the best idea. So I decided this year that I'll be only here having the smaller ones. The bigger tomatoes are grown in the other greenhouse, and I'm hoping for some great results this year. This year on this table that we use sometimes to eat breakfast or lunch or dinner, if the weather is nice, I wanted some kind of pot composition that I will not have to tend to as much as to other flowers. So I was hoping for plants that do not need that much water, and I've decided some kind of succulents, sedums, and they are in the pots. I'm really loving the lemon ball sedum. I've shown you that I have it in few parts of the garden, in pots bigger and smaller, and in bigger pots it is growing much more quickly, and in this one it is a slower growth, but I really love how it looks like. This sedum next to it is quite interesting because it's a lemony type of color, and I really like it. It's called Tokyo Sun sedum. So I will be watching them closely through the season and see how they grow and what is the difference if I have some, especially the lemon ball, in different parts of the garden. Unfortunately, I did not plant it in a border, and I think I will try next year. Hopefully it will look also beautiful. But this one I really love. Now let's talk about my flower wall. I've been doing this flower wall for years. I really love it because the more we get into the season, the more the flowers are like a wall of flowers, and I really love it. I've always done that with Supertunias, but I've been trying different color combinations. So this year the combination is Supertunia Bubblegum, Supertunia Snowdrift, and Supertunia Silverberry, and they are in those white plastic pots, and they are growing very fast, and just in 2 months we'll have a wall of flowers. So we finally made those white wooden pots. They are really big, and they are housing some other plants. Michael painted them for me white, and everything was painted so it looks fresher. It's those shells are quite old, but they are still doing their job. And in the pots we have a foil that you use for when you're painting a room, so that this kind of plastic foil, and we made some holes in it so the water can escape the pots. And in the pots we have Supertunia Bubblegum, we have Supertunia Jazzberry, we have Diamond Frost Euphorbia, and some Mini Vistas Hot Pink, I believe. Yes, that's Hot Pink. And those colors will be quite gentle, very romantic, and then we'll get some more intense colors in the lower part of this composition. And in the pots now we have sedum lemon ball that is there, and here we have sedum Angelina, that some people told me that it's very similar to lemon ball. I can already see that they are definitely not the same. They look different, they have different growing habit, but I want to wait the whole season to see what is similar and what is different about them, and to tell you if Angelina can replace the lemon ball that does not overwinter in some of the countries. So these two big pots have clematis in them. This one is called the Rhapsody. How beautiful the bird sings. This one is Rhapsody, so I really like the intense color, blue and purple mixed together. And the other is Omoshiro. It's stopped blooming already, but it is also a beautiful clematis. And they overwinter here in the pots, and they do quite well every year. So I'm really happy with those two. And in the pots I also have hydrangeas. I'm trying out Pikachu. This is a new hydrangea for me. And this one I do not know the name of, because the lady that I buy some of the plants here around in our village did not know the name of this hydrangea. But I loved the flower last year. I've shown you in the video in the fall, and it has more rounded, not a typical cone-shaped flower, and I really liked how it looked like. It was very similar to Limelight, but I really liked the shape of the flower. And of course we have a lot of bubblegum. Bubblegum is my favorite Supertunia. I've said it so many times. It always performs incredibly in the pots, in the borders, and I always want to have most of the bubblegum in the pots. So this is our dining room window, and you can see a rose that is called Bonica 82 and the lady's mantle. I really love this combination, but my Bonica, that is the oldest rose in my garden, is leaning towards because of the weight of her flowers. I've been having a rough 2 years with her. She was having problems with the stems. They were not overwintering too well. It is the older rose, but it looks younger because of that I had to almost prune her to the ground for the last 2 years. But this year a lot of flowers, which I'm happy about. Behind me you can see beautiful white flowers of Rose Bobby James. One rose, it's huge. It spreads for meters wide, and I really love it. It blooms only once, but I really love those clusters of white flowers that attract the bees and have beautiful scent. And all of those this jungle of other stems is the clematis. I have a few here. So we have a lot of Ichigella types. The first one started blooming, it's called Baticornic, and it looks like a little bell. And then we'll have other ones that are purple. It will look beautiful, and after the rose stops blooming, we can see a lot of flowers in this wall, which you cannot see now because there's so much green. So this part are my raised beds, and this year I've been practicing something new. I've been mixing my flowers with the veggies. We have a lot of lettuce here, we have some beetroots, we have some strawberries, some chives, a lot of herbs. So we have oregano, we have salvia, we have sedge, we have melissa, we have lovage. So a lot of things you can use in the kitchen, but also it looks beautiful because of the ranunculus. The lettuce, we almost ate it all, and it started to bolt, which is unusual for this part of the year, but it's been so hot that I can imagine why it's happening. And I'm really loving this combo. Everything is growing quite well, and I'm not surprised by that. I think the biodiversity is something that plants like. They don't like to be only one crop. And I'm loving this because of also the view that I can see. But now I know that I will have to take care of the slug problem, because in the spring I was on top of my game. I have some ecological granules that I put around the garden, not in this raised bed, but somewhere around, and they are attracted to it and they don't eat my plants. But I forgot, because I did not have the problem, because I did that in the spring, but now the problem is persisting and I need to do it again. So the slugs and the snails, the slugs are the bigger problem now, and sometimes the ants. This is the problem that is not easy to take care of, but hopefully we can all live together happily. I'm really happy so far with this part of the garden. So here I have a lot of pots. This year I've had a watering system installed for my pots, and I'm really happy because I don't need to spend 2 hours watering all the pots. So I've had an opportunity to try out a lot of plants. I'm really excited about the fuchsias because this is a Hula Dancer series of fuchsias, different colors. I really love them. Those plants were not touched for I think 2 or 3 weeks. I've done nothing to them. So you can see there are some dry flowers, but I really love that they are flowering despite me cleaning them. You know how it is with the plants. Of course, they will look their best if you tend to them every day. You take all the dry flowers. But I really like that about, for example, Supertunias, that you do not need to do it. Sometimes you just can shake them a bit and get all those dry things fall down. But I'm really hopeful about this fuchsia because I didn't do anything and they're still looking beautiful. So this is what you see when you get out of the patio, and here you can see a beautiful rose called Heavenly Pink. Behind me, the deep rich color is Gertrude Jekyll, and on this archway you can see climbing rose James Galloway, and here you can see Bobby James. Just one plant. Can you see how many flowers are here? So beautiful. I really hope you like today's walk. Let's not call it a walk, like a few steps, but it was a short walk through my patio. We've had this beautiful bird singing for us throughout the whole video. Please give your thumbs up or hands together for this beautiful bird. I love them. Sometimes I feel that when we are starting to shoot a video, they're like, let's go, we'll be some famous birds on YouTube. So please give a shout out to this beautiful master of singing. And if you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.